Good afternoon. So today I'm finally off for the summer and I'm going to create a little tutorial for you with some summer makeup tips and then a little summer daily application using Saint and some other products that I have. So stay tuned. So one of the first things I'm going to recommend is that you wear sunscreen. You can apply the sunscreen after your moisturizer, before your moisturizer, or as your moisturizer. It's up to you and of course your skin type. If you have extremely oily skin, then get something that is non-comedogenic and hypoallergenic, and something that's going to help with blue light also. Especially if you're going to be sitting in front of a computer. This Ulta MD is my go-to usually for during the day. And it's pretty much all you need. And again, if you have oily skin, then you can use this in place of your moisturizer so that you don't add too much product. Use a face serum. If you have mature skin, use like an anti-wrinkle serum or a glow serum, and then apply this and then your eye cream and you're good to go. And then from there you can apply your primer. The other tips that I have before we get into the primer about summer is self-tanners. I do not go out into the sun very much because I do have some melasma on my face and I don't want to get any more. So for my body, I use the Bondi Sands with the mint, and I use it on my legs, my arms, all over. For my face, I started using the Saint Tropez self-tan water mist, and I really like it, but I found that when I missed it, I kind of felt like I didn't get an even application. So then I started using my Anisa treatment brush to spread it, and that works better. But I also love the L'Oreal Sublime Bronze drops that you just mix with your moisturizer, and these are pretty not cheap but economical, I suppose, versus some others. But there's also the 10 Lux, and there's a lot of brands out there, but drops that you can add to your moisturizer are the bomb and easy, and you put them on at night, at least I do, and then you just bring them down here, or you can use the mist or even the Bondi Sands here for a more even application, and that will help to get that glowing summer look that we all want. So now I'm going to talk primers, and I have to wear my glasses for this, otherwise I can't see. My go-to during the summer has been so far this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip primer, because literally it grips. Keep in mind though that I'm oily in the T and normal to dry on the perimeter of my face. So I use the pore minimizing, the Makeup Forever pore minimizing, and of course you've got this, or you can also use the e.l.f. matte putty, or the One Step Correct by Stila if you've got redness, and even the Rimmel Stay Matte works amazing. Okay, so anything to control oil in the center of the face. Now Lorac has the Pro Skin Matte Primer. This is amazing as well, and so that would be something that you could use in the center of your face if you're oily to combination. Now if you're dry, then I recommend they have the Poreless Primer in e.l.f., the Lorac Pro Skin Glass. This will give you a glow. The Complexion Perfection Pre-Makeup Base, or the Matte Perfection also in Huda is really good. And what else? You can even use the illuminating e.l.f. primer. Okay, so now I do use the Vitamin Rich Eye Base under my eyes, and this is non-negotiable for me. I don't use anything else. This is the only one that I have that's an under eye primer, and I do use this on a daily. And then if I want to add glow, then I will either use, and I know you're going to think I'm crazy because I have a bunch, but the strobe cream, the MAC strobe cream, I have it in the gold light and I have it in the peach light. So it just kind of depends what mood you're in. If you're more of a a gold rose color or more of a yellow gold color. I also sometimes use the Lorac Light Source Illuminating Primer. And I often also will use the Bobbi Brown Extra Bare Glow mixed in with the Bobbi Brown foundation, or any foundation actually. I will also mix this with my Saint foundation, just one pump, scrape some out, mix it together, and then apply it. And it's amazing, and I will show you how I do that today, because that's actually what I'm going to do today. If you're looking into not wearing foundation and are more into a tinted moisturizer, my go-tos are the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. It is oil-free, and it will stay on in even the brutalist heat, or the Smashbox Halo. I have recently also purchased, where is it? This has a glow to it, so you can either wear this by itself or mix it in with another tinted moisturizer to give you glow. Depends on how much glow you want. And I have also found that this Face and Body MAC Studio Radiance Foundation, it's more of a tint. It's not really a foundation, and it's very sheer but dewy, and it's amazing. So these are my go-tos right now. Actually, recently I've been using my Saint Mango color all over my eyes, and to cover this up, and then I use a little bit of this just on the perimeter of the face, and it's amazing, and my makeup stays on forever. So let me put all this stuff away, get my primers on, and then we'll start with the makeup. So I've already got my eyebrows done, and I am wearing lash extensions because I am going on vacation and I don't want to have to mess with lashes. But normally I don't wear them. I don't wear them year round. These are temporary. So I'm going to start with applying my eye base, my under eye base, which is the Bobbi Brown, and I do use the Anissa, I believe this is the spot treatment. And I just apply with a brush. I first start with underneath my eyes. Gently pat that in. And then today I'm going to use the Lorac Pro Matte Finish, and I do use a brush as well. I'm going to just do one pump, maybe 1.5, and I'm going to use that down the center of my face where my pores tend to, for some reason, magnify. And so just also slightly tap that in, and then I just basically take a tiny bit, and then I apply that right here in the center, so that I don't mess up my eyebrows. Make sure you get it right in the corners of your nose. And if you tend to have, laugh lines, deep ones, then don't apply it there, because you want something more dewy in that area. And then I'm going to use my grip, same brush, no biggie, on the perimeter of my face here where I tend to get sweaty. And it's okay if you overlap it a little bit, it's not a big deal. But you don't want to add too much, because then your makeup won't stay. And just apply it. I bring it down to my neck because we always bring our bronzer and stuff there. And one of the most important tips I will ever give you is that you need to let your primer dry and set. If I were to go in right now with the foundation, it's just going to go everywhere. So I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes. I'll be back. Today I don't want a very full eye. So what I did is I just applied a little bit of highlight underneath, and I'm going to use the color Oak from my collection of Saint eyeshadows, and I'm just going to apply that all over lightly. It is a brown neutral color, and so you can pretty much wear it with anything. I'm going to take my double-ended eyeshadow brush, tap it lightly. You can also even use bronzing powder for this, and I'm going to only apply it like at the crease on the top part of my eye, just to give my eye some lift and shape. But for the most part, usually if I just want something really light, I won't add anything. I will take like a shimmer shadow sometimes and just dust my whole eye. This brush already has some gold shimmer shadow. I don't know if you can see that, but it just adds a little pop of glow to your eyes, but yet not a real heavy makeup look. And so now I will proceed with my correcting. So I am going to use my Saint today, and I'm going to use that in combination with my MAC Face and Body. So I'm going to take Mango, and I apply that underneath my eyes a little bit, right here where the little purple shows, where my melasma's at. By this time, remember that my primer is set. I take whatever's left on my finger and put it underneath my nose because I do have some red broken capillaries there. And then I'm going to take Papaya, which is a little bit darker. I'm going to apply that because that helps to cover up these spots that I have on my chin, and it also helps to contour a little bit at the same time. And I take my brush, my double, I think it's called the double, this one right here, the brush double B. And I am not a swiper. And by that I mean, I don't do this. I learned a long time ago that you pat. When you swipe, you're just moving everything all over the place. And so I pat my foundations in. I even pat my powder in, because if you don't, then it just picks up the foundation and moves it everywhere. So if you pat, instead of swipe, you get a much better result. So I do have a mosquito bite that got turned into something here. So I'm going to cover that. And as you know, as you can see, I probably don't need much more because this Mango pretty much conceals everything that needs a little bit of camouflaging. And I could probably get away with just adding some bronzer, maybe a little more highlight under the eyes, and I'd be good to go. So now I'm going to add, you know what, I'm going to stick to my Saint. So I'm going to use a little bit of Sandy, just here, but very little. I tapped my brush once, same brush. I don't want a heavy makeup look today, so a little bit on my nose, not too much. And I probably don't need any on my forehead, but I tapped it once, and here we go. So now I'm going to go in with my contour, and I use Indigo and Olive. Depends on what mood I'm in. Today, I guess I will use, if I can find my nice brush. Why am I always losing brushes? That's ridiculous, right? Anyway, oh, because I've misplaced it. So my contour brush, and I'm going to just ever so lightly apply that right where I have that indentation. Again, I tap. I don't swipe very much. And then you just take it and buff it up. And then I'm taking a little bit of contour right here where my hairline is, only because I hate those little holes in my forehead. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. And now I'm going to take Bella Bronzer. Same brush. I know you're like, oh my God, that's a lot. Yeah. But you have to keep in mind that if you mess up, there is no mess up really. Because all I have to do is then take a brush like this, clean it up. And then you can go back with your double B brush and blend it. And you can always take this again and do this. See? Perfect. And I am one that likes for the highlight, I do like the definition. So maybe I do use more than some other people on the nose. I'm not a big fan of heavily contoured noses, but I will add a little. And so there. And now the secret to having full lips is that you take a light color of highlight or contour. And today I'm going to put on my glasses because then I cannot see, henna. And you outline your lips with that, ever so lightly. And this is called lip contouring, I suppose. I would assume. And you contour as if you're applying lip liner, but to the outside. And then you can take your beauty blender and just dab. If you're oily, you can dab down the center of your face too to pick up excess oil, but I'm not a big fan of using a beauty blender to apply makeup. I am more of a brush girl. So now I'm going to take my other contour brush, but I use the smaller end to apply highlight underneath my eyes, and then put wherever I need a little pop of color. And I'm going to use Candlelit today and apply some under the eyes, and then I take this up this way to give a lift. And under and above. You can even use bronzer under your eyes to give like a little shadow, and I'll show you that in a bit. Not like where I'm applying, but on the waterline underneath. Yeah, you can definitely do that. So in under my nose, the bridge of my nose, just a little pop right here, the chin, upper lip, very little. Remember, I didn't want a very heavy look today, and so I don't want to go outside and melt. I take my beauty sponge, blend, blend, blend. And for the most part, you're pretty much done, unless you're going to set or add color. You can even add, let me add some lip and cheek. I'm going to use I keep doing that, I'm so sorry. What am I going to use today? I think I'm going to use grapefruit today. Sure, why not? A little bit. I want a pink cheek today. You can smile. And I do like it on the apples of my cheeks. I feel it gives it more definition. And that's pretty much it. And then I will proceed to add setting powder under my eyes. And as you all know, I am a firm believer in the Givenchy Le Prisme, the Prisma Libre powders. And they come in all shades. I tend to use the Blanc and the Rose, I believe, which is the pink. And I'll use that to set under my eyes in my T-zone. And then recently I've been using the Charlotte Tilbury setting powder in a number 2 because I really like it and it gives an airbrush look. And then I'll go in with a highlight or a bronzer powder because I don't have the Glow Eliminator by Saint yet, but I'll add that on my cheeks to give my face more of a glow. So let me finish all that up and I'll be right back. So I'm going to now set, and I'm going to take the powder, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Oops, so sorry. And then I take it in the back of my hand and I set it, and I press it in. And then I take that and I just dab it and I press it. I do not swipe, only because I don't want to move the product around. And then before I set, I make sure that this area is nice and smooth and there's not any creases, so that the powder doesn't accentuate those creases again. And then I take it up here, bring it down the sides of my nose, and just whatever's left, and I tap it, and then I just leave it. And I mean, you can continue tapping if you want. The more you tap, actually, the better it sets. You don't have to. I know if you're limited on time, then that's not something that you want to do. Then the next thing I do is I take my Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder, and I use this really neat little brush by It, and it's really dense, but it's also soft, and it goes a long way. And I just literally do this, and then I just take it and pat it. Again, no swiping. I sound like Dora the Explorer. No swiping, swiper. So we don't swipe, we press. Other brushes that I also have that I use for the pressing would be the Anisa powder brush. It's also fantastic, and if you see, it has like a little fan, and so you can use this also. I just currently am using this one, and it's one of my favorites, along with those Anisa brushes, which I do love, and I have pretty much a whole set of them. And I set it, and I wait a few minutes, just, I don't know, to let it all sink in and set. And then I'm going to take just a cheap Physicians Formula bronzer that has a little gold shimmer to it. And I'm going to actually use an Anisa brush, and this is the tapered highlight. And I don't use it for highlight, I actually use it for bronzer, blusher, whatever you want. And I take that, and that's just going to add and accentuate my glow everywhere. And again, slightly, maybe swiping a little bit, but not really. You just want to make sure you get it where you want it. Tapping it in. Side of my nose. It's just going to add some glow to where we want. If you have the Glow Illuminator that Saint makes, then use that. I don't have it yet. I ordered it. I haven't gotten it in, but I'm dying to try it. Yeah. And then I'm going to add a little bit of highlight with the same brush, just on my cheeks. And I'm going to take a powder highlight on my nose, on the Cupid bow, and then on top of this, and you get a really nice glow. Now for the lips, I clean off the makeup that I have, and like I said, I already contoured them. I'm not a big lipstick person. I would rather use just my lip and cheek, and today I'm going to use Tropicana because it's got an orangey coral, pretty color to it, and it's nice and simple. And I'm going to take that same color eyeshadow in Oak and use my other Saint brush, but the crease one, and I'm going to take Oak and I'm going to apply it, just dab it lightly on the underside of my eyes to accentuate the eyes underneath. And it actually also makes it look like I have got a full eye when I really really don't. And take some of this eyeshadow here and do my inner corner. And it's a white shimmer to make my inner corners pop. And I'm going to apply some mascara on my bottom lashes, and I'll be right back. So I'm all done now. I finished with my under eye, mascara, lip gloss, and I'm ready to go. And it was easy and fast, and there's hardly any makeup on my face. It's more of a moisturizer with a very light glow. And I really like it, and it stays on. I don't have any problems with makeup just, you know, melting off because of the time that I take to use my primer, and then the way I set it at the end. And of course, before I walk out the door, then I'll spray on some setting powder, like I'm sorry, not a setting powder, a setting spray. One of my favorites is the Charlotte Tilbury the matte setting spray. That one is really good. So if you have any questions on hair, makeup, primers, you name it, I'll be happy to help. So enjoy your Friday, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.